Hey guys, this is Nick, and in this video I want to talk about the allegations of the Nikola fraud in their demonstrations and things that this short seller is alleging. And in my research of looking into this and reading the 10Q, I also came across a company that is way more advanced than not only Nikola but also Tesla. And so if you hit the like button right now, I'm going to tell you about this company free. So let's get started on that, and then I'll get into the Nikola thing. So I found this little known company here, and here the news report says, due to the overwhelming response from the record run in June with an electric Asian taxi that went 1,043 miles on a single charge. BAT International, that's B-A-A-T, is the stock symbol, just formed a new company called Global Green Cars to manufacture a ground-up vehicle that will provide environmentally friendly transportation worldwide. GGC will use advanced design, composite materials, drivetrains, and assembly processes to build electric, super efficient, high-power vehicles from the same universal chassis. The combination of proprietary drivetrain technologies and vehicle chassis designs and use of a readily available Volkswagen aftermarket parts, running gear, and engine components will result in a vehicle package that can easily be assembled and serviced on a worldwide basis. So this just sounds awesome. And here it says, GGC will assume contracts of BAT California to build electric vehicles for the U.S. Postal Service and purchase orders for electric vehicles. Wow. They also have a subsidiary, Ultraforce Battery Company, that recently signed a worldwide license agreement with DAUG, a research joint venture of Daimler-Benz and Volkswagen. DAUG fiber nickel electro batteries are now used commercially in the most demanding situations in the world, including F-16 fighters, Apache helicopters, missiles, and in commercial airline applications such as McDonnell Douglas MD-90 and Boeing 777. And they will be using the same advanced technology to manufacture a low-cost, high-performance nickel, cadmium, and nickel metal hydride battery for electric vehicle, telecommunication, and industrial markets. This sounds awesome. Where do I sign up for this? I'm sure you want to know where you can buy this stock. I'll tell you in a minute. Keep watching. It gets better. So here, BAT signed a deal with Skoda, which is a car company in Czech Republic that is now owned by Volkswagen, to develop electric and super efficient vehicles. And Lockheed Martin is involved in this. And so it says Lockheed Martin has succeeded in bringing together best U.S. transportation technologies to the Czech Republic for use in 21st century vehicles. Main elements of the agreement are: BAT will provide Skoda with long-life, low-cost nickel metal hydride batteries for electric and hybrid electric vehicles. By combining their fiber nickel electrode technology with BAT proprietary sealer technology, Skoda will be able to utilize a battery that is expected to last more than 12 years with zero maintenance and life cycle cost approximately 4 cents a mile. And here it says that BAT will provide Skoda with engine technology that's expected to extend the range of an electric vehicle to 300 to 312 miles. That is pretty awesome. I don't think I need to hear any more. Where do I sign up for this thing? And just to show you that Wall Street is catching on, Wall Street West Newswire said that last year the stock ran from pennies to the $3 area. Negative press and criticism brought it right down to its current low levels, blah, 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 right? But BAT is organized as a holding company with major ownership position, a set of subsidiary companies now commercializing advanced automotive and engine technology products. BAT Technology was formed in '91 and became public in '92 to develop transportation and energy technologies. The company has been developing a wide array of innovative cutting-edge technologies, now moving quickly into production through joint ventures, partnerships, and product rollout. Technologies include electric and hybrid electric vehicles, electric scooters and bicycles, advanced batteries and fuel cells even, super efficient and high power engines, anti-friction metal lubricants, green fuels, composite chassis technology, and high efficiency power generation technologies. So, I mean, this sounds so awesome. I mean, wait, what was that part about? Formed in 1991 and became public in 1992. That can't be right. Let me go back and look at those other news reports. Let's see. So here's the news report of the 1,000-mile Asian taxi. What's the date on this? Oh, September 8th, 1997. How's that possible? But wait, what about the deal with the Skoda car company and Lockheed Martin and all that? What's the, oh, February 3rd, 1998? Okay, so are you telling me that this company had all these great press releases and major joint ventures and announcements with major European car companies, the US Postal Service, and all of these great press releases of all of these things they're going to do? And this is 22 years ago, and you know, they haven't overtaken Tesla or become the most valuable company in the world? How is that possible? Well, here's a story on them from 1999 in the Union Tribune, where they were in Tijuana building cars out of Volkswagen chassis, which are probably Volkswagen Bugs. And this guy, Joseph Lestrella, started this company after leaving as an employee in Con Edison in New York, which, if you know, it's basically the electric utility in New York City. So he started in 1992 from after being an employee in Consolidated Edison. And he started by retrofitting Ford Rangers and Chevy Geos with electric motors and diesel engines. And he hasn't taken over the world yet after all these great stories, but it gets a little better, because here it says, in Burbank, Lestrella continued to work on the cars aided by reverse merger that allowed him to start selling stock. In essence, a reverse merger allows a privately held company to gain a stock listing by merging with a shell corporation that already has a listing. In that way, the private company can avoid many key reporting requirements needed to take a company public. So this is what used to be called a shell company, reverse merger, and is usually by really scammy penny stocks on the bulletin board and the pink sheets. And it would be a company that was public that had no business operations, that just stayed listed in the hopes that they could sell that to a company that wanted to buy into them as a reverse merger to get listed, even if they had no sales or anything like that. So these were the scammy old days when they used to do this reverse merger kind of thing with the shell corporation. They would never do that today. These days, they're much more sophisticated, and they call it a Spac, Special Purpose Acquisition Corporation. And coincidentally, that is how Nikola became public as well, very similar to how BAT became public. So what other similarities does Nikola have to this scammy company called BAT that made all of these promises and put out all these press releases 20 some odd years ago, while all they actually sold was stock in the company? And because they had no revenue, they actually sold $50,000 of so-called BAT lube, this frictionless oil or whatever, $50,000 worth to insiders so that they can book it as revenue in their financials. Okay, so they had no revenue, so they said, look, somebody buy $50,000 worth of this stuff and you can, you know, sell stock to cover it or whatever, so at least we could show that we have revenue. Now, a company like Nikola would never do that, right? Let's see. Barron's did this article on Nikola deciding to merge with a Spac. And the reason they did it, because it's quicker and it cost them a little less to do usually. But one of the big reasons is because they have no revenue. And so it's very hard to convince hedge funds and mutual funds to to buy into a company that's just an idea or a dream at the time with zero revenue. And now somebody's going to say, well, I looked at their 10Q and they have some revenue. Yeah, they do. You want to go look at that? Let's go look at the revenue that they actually do have. Let's see, here's their revenue. 3 months ended June 30th, 2020 and 2019. Okay, 13, as in, this is in thousands, not millions. So in the 3 months ended June 30th, 2019, they had 13,000 in revenue, and in 2020, they had $36,000 in revenue, which is solar revenues. Now, what the hell is solar revenues? You can't make this stuff up, guys. So here is their solar revenue in related party transactions, meaning transactions done between somebody that's high up in the company. Here, related party revenue and accounts receivable during the 3 months ended June 30th in 2020 and 2019, recorded solar revenues of $0.03 million and $0.04 million respectively for the provision of solar installation services to the executive chairman, which are billed on a time and material basis. Okay, so what the hell does that mean? It means they sat around and said, look, we want to go public, but we have zero revenue and we have no chance of selling any electric trucks anytime soon. We got to put something on the board. So they said, hey, why don't we put some solar panels on the CEO's house and have Nikola actually do the installation of it and maybe the materials. And we can say that that's our actual revenue. And so you see $0.03 million, $0.04 million. Who writes numbers like that? Nobody does, except they're too embarrassed to write $30,000 because that's what $0.03 million is, and $0.04 million is $40,000. So a company that's an $11 billion market cap, touting how they, have $30,000 in revenue because they put solar panels on the CEO's house, that ought to raise a few red flags, I would say. Well, what about that deal with the Italian truck manufacturer Iveco that's going to manufacture their truck for them? Well, take a look here that they have an agreement where Iveco and their parent company CNHI were issued 25 million shares of Nikola stock, preferred convertible stock, in exchange for an IP license valued at $50 million, so that cost Iveco nothing. $100 million in in-kind services, which I'll talk about in a minute, and $100 million in cash. So basically, they gave $100 million in cash, and they got 25 million shares, which at the current price of like $30 of Nikola stock, it's worth about $750 million. So pretty good deal, I would say. So what was that $100 million in in-kind services? Iveco is providing Nikola with $100 million in advisory services based on pre-negotiated hourly rates, including project coordination, drawings, document support, blah, blah, blah. During the 6 months ended June 30th, 2020, we utilized $17 million of advisory services. So as of June 20th, 2020, we have 78 million of prepaid in-kind advisory services remaining, which is expected to be consumed primarily in 2020 and 2021. So what they're saying is Iveco is basically building this thing for them, and then they're billing them for their expertise or management of the project, so to speak, and it's from that $100 million of value that they gave them for the stock, supposedly. So Nikola is basically a company, a marketing company that's putting together all kinds of pieces and deals to try to come up with a truck. Not completely dissimilar from the whole bat company nonsense, but maybe it's an updated version of it. So let's go look at the allegations that the short seller made against them. One of the main claims of Hindenburg Research is that the Nikola demonstration of their truck rolling down the highway was actually towed to the top of a hill so that it could roll down this highway because it couldn't be powered on its own power because it had none at the time. And so if that's true, that's fraudulent to say that this truck works on its own electric power, and it's really not, and it's just rolling down a hill. But it gets kind of better. Here, the CEO said, once we release the cell tech and it's ready for production, it'll just add more range and more tech ahead of competition. You don't stop pushing just because you're waiting for product releases. Yeah, well, that cell tech, what happened to it? Because they just went into a deal with GM for GM's battery technology, which is not even GM's battery technology, it's actually LG Chem. So if they don't have, if they're not making their own trucks, Iveco is making it, they're not making their own batteries, GM is making it, what do they actually do? And here is another accusation that in this demonstration that they had the electricity working on the electrical systems, somebody admitted that there's a wire hooked up to this thing to actually run the electrical systems because they weren't really functioning at the time of this demonstration. And this one is that the inverter that they use, that they claim that they made, is actually made by another company named Cascadia, who doesn't even make it for them. It's just an off-the-shelf kind of thing. So again, they don't make any of their own stuff. They just have an idea that they're going to throw all this stuff together. And who is the CEO of this company, Trevor Milton? What's his background? Well, it said that he started an alarm sales company immediately after quitting college and exited the business for $300,000, though his former business partner claims he was led to believe the exit payment was much smaller. Then he launched an online classified ads website selling used cars, which eventually failed, and then followed by Trevor's first alternative energy vehicles company called D-Hybrid, which landed a truck conversion deal with Swift, leading to a mid-2012 lawsuit predicated on D-Hybrid's failure to deliver on its agreement. D-Hybrid would eventually be purchased by Worthington in 2014. In 2015, Milton founded Nikola Motor Company. So what's his experience in electric cars? Not much. To me, it seems like this is more of a marketing company than an actual engineering company. And the latest on these allegations today on Saturday, the CEO is kind of angry on Twitter, saying that he's sending his people to Germany right now on his private plane and all this stuff. But he said back in July 2020 on a podcast that we have 5 of them coming off the assembly line right now in Ulm, Germany. And his president, Mark Russell, said on August 4th that the Nikola Tre trucks were coming off the end of the facility at this point. The Bosch spokesman, who is the partner, when Hindenburg called them, said, no, they are not ready yet. I don't know exactly the year, but we're working on it. And so Milton tweeted this picture saying that, do these look fake? Thanks to Ulm Fab assembly teams for showing the trolls what's up. You guys have my admiration. F the haters. We'll come back stronger from the lies spread about us. But here's a picture that he sent, and this just looks like a truck that's it's not on any assembly line. It looks like, you know, a pre-production prototype or something along those lines. So this doesn't prove anything that these trucks are ready. And if anything, take a look at the Iveco electric truck and the Nikola electric truck. They look almost identical, as if Nikola is just private labeling the Iveco truck and saying, change the grill a little bit and put our name on the front and we'll call it ours or something. That's, you know, they look very similar. So I don't know what's the story with that. But down here, they did not deny the claim that they rolled this truck downhill. So here it says, FT reported this week, it was to be built on a working prototype, Mr. Russell insists, of the truck. But did it actually work? His answer, after a long pause, I wouldn't comment on that. Okay, so that's not saying absolutely it worked. It's saying I'm not gonna, you know, lie again on camera or something. I don't know. And then they take a step back on Milton's claims that the company was an innovator with proprietary technology, instead referring to them as an integrator. So when asked about Mr. Milton's claim that they have all the core technology for its vehicles, Mr. Russell described the company as an integrator, stitching together the many elements of its vehicles from a complex supply chain. The most important thing you can deliver to any market is an overall solution. Yeah, that sounds like a lot of BS to me. So what it sounds like, you know, is Nikola like an absolute fraud? No, yeah, I don't think so. I think they're caught up in the hype, and so they're definitely taking advantage of that, and they're doing the old fake it till you make it kind of thing. So maybe they thought they were gonna make these batteries, but their partner, it turned out Zapco or whatever their name, it was just vaporware. So then they turned to GM for the batteries, they turned to Iveco for the trucks, this other company for the inverters. You know, I remember back when Apple made the iPod, they always talked about it in the articles that everything in the iPod was basically off-the-shelf electrical items and everything like that, and all Apple did was put it together in a elegant and simple way. So I'm sure this is going to be their argument that, yeah, okay, technically we don't produce anything, but we're so good at putting everything together in a nice, beautiful way that works, and getting the best battery and the best, you know, engine and the best truck producer and the best software, and putting them all together for a great product and blah, blah, blah. You know, it definitely sounds like hype to me, and I'm not short the stock, I'm not long the stock. I wouldn't touch it either way. And like I said, they have no revenues except for their little $30,000 solar thing. What strikes me about this company, though, is it seems that they have no qualms about whether they're stretching the truth or lying outright. I don't know, but it seems like there's a lot of that going on. And you know, maybe the culture is they believe that the ends justify the means, so they can fake it till they make it, and they'll eventually catch up and put something together and, you know, be successful or whatever, or at least their stock price will be successful in this type of frothy market where anything with electric car, electric truck automatically gets billions of dollars of funding or whatever. So that's my video. I hope you liked it. Give me a thumbs up if you liked it, and leave me a comment and let me know if you think that Nikola is just faking it till they make it, or they're just an outright fraud. Let me know what you think, and please subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. Thanks for watching.